Facebook friends. I have again with me Shaka, the gentleman who did a couple of videos on Facebook already, and he has dropped into my office. I'd just like to say Happy New Year to you, Shaka.
Happy New Year, Brian. Happy New Year, Brian, and everyone who will be viewing this.
Yeah, we are on the Facebook. You're a big feature on Facebook. And you shout out friends like Mal and Mills and those lady. She spoke highly of you, and Margaret, London, and others.
Yeah.
Well, Shaka, you were here yesterday, and our system didn't work too well, so we're gonna get straight into the meat of things. Now, Shaka, you're living in the area where was most affected during this last flood. We don't even have a name for this storm, but we will call it flood 2013. Let's call it that. And I'd like you to tell me some of your concerns, reasons why you think this happened, and even though the way the authorities handle the whole situation.
Well, greetings, SVG. Now, the storm is past, and then a lot of things has been said, and a lot of things been done. But what I need we to get engaged in now is just another look at what really happened. With an eye to look at, it could have happened to any one of us, regardless to where we live. This thing could have happened. So the question is, why were we not warned? And is there a case of criminal negligence that we should charge the authority with? Now, this thing it hit Lucia. And then I didn't hear for myself personally, but I hear people say that the authority was on the airwaves saying that they didn't know. I mean, Vinci, let me take a little while and cool out and look into itself. They didn't know. How come that? Now, we grew up in a culture where old people taught us, when your neighbor house on fire, wait for your own. Now, it licked day, it licked Lucia, and how come we didn't know? Even at least to say, well, boy, well look now, this thing, I think they out there lick up Dama, they can lick up Lucia, you know, so let me start to shake up ourselves. But anything just to say something. Why was something not said? Now, is it because Papa was not home? You see, because we've been seeing a trend over all the time that unless Papa ain't here, nothing can happen, nothing can be said. And if that is the case, brothers and sisters, we are in a terrible position in life. We are exposed to die off at any time. Now, it makes me come to think, who are we? Are we people? No, it seems like we are sheeple. Because if we were people by Christmas morning, we would have been ringing somebody neck out in the street out here for answers as to why this thing happened. I mean, we paying some people to look over us, to protect us. What did they do? Did they fall asleep on the job? How could you say you didn't know? Now, technology, we live in the age of technology. So what happened to us now? It's like this thing, we put our technology up in the air and the thing travel through the earth and bust up in the middle of St. Vincent, surprise all of us. How come we didn't know? Vinci, look deep into this thing, you know. Look deep into this thing with a way that it could have happened to any one of us, you know. Imagine, okay, you know we like dogs and things. Well, not me personally, but the nation like dogs. And the main reason we had them in our yard had to watch the property. When we got sleep, we leave the dog out there to watch. Now, you wake up to realize that thief break in your house, kill your wife, kill your children, take everything inside your house. And when you go out there, you see a dog and them sit down. And none of them didn't bark to inform you that thief was breaking your house. What would you do with that? What would you do with these dogs? And let us say that you had a conversation with the dogs and they tell you because the lead dog was home and the lead dog tell them they can't bark when he's not home. Oh, I mean, let me try to look into this thing with a clear mind. Let me forget everything else and look into this with a clear mind and recognize the kind of danger that we were exposed to. Recognize that our entire nation was wiped out in one night. Because you go sleep with death hanging over your head not knowing. Who is responsible for this? Who really is responsible for this? SVG, we need to know that. We need Can we continue living in a country where, when, with a, what we call this, a paralyzed one-hand government, that if the hand they take a stroke or sick, not everything shut down and nothing can happen? I mean, what kind of country is this we live in? What kind of people are we? I mean, come on, no, SVG, come on. This is our country, no. This country not just happen overnight, you know. This country was created by the Almighty and it's a purpose why we here. We here to protect it and to guard it as our own, as how we see ourselves and our life and our children. SVG, people die in this thing. Our brothers and sisters lose their lives. Our children lose their lives. Who is responsible? Somebody must be held criminally negligible. I mean, we have to look into this thing. Now, there are some two major incidents that I want to talk about. Now, in Cane Grove, right next to me, there is a certain man who used to do farming on a certain plot of land. He had greenhouses there, etc. Every time a small portion of rain come, this man farm used to flood out. Who give this man authority to put a housing block on that spot? Vinci, come now man, let me find out all these things. Who give this man authority to put a housing block on this spot?
Shaka, let me get the people focused. Now, the area of Cane Grove, and people call it Bookament area too. You see it as a valley where, if you look at it from the seaside, you'll see that there is a very wide trench leading into the Vermont area. So you're telling us that that whole area that you think is a dangerous area for somebody to live.
I'm not thinking that, Brian. Brian, I used to go to Tabrock, I don't know when. I mean, maybe in my mother's belly. Because we have land in Tabrock, so I've been patrolling this area throughout my entire life. And I am telling you, when you are going up into Vermont, from down by Pembroke, on the main road down there, the entire right-hand side of the road is riverbed. It ain't no two ways about it. Right up until you get right up in a Vermont, and anybody in Vermont could tell you that. The road itself is riverbed. Everyone knows that. So who gave this man permission to build a housing block in the riverbed? Number one.
Well, when you're building a house, you have to go through the planning board. So I don't know who categorized that area as a residential area. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, I know who give, and the nation know who give. But I am asking the nation, let us ask ourselves these and make sure that we get answers to these questions. Because people died. This is my biggest thing in here, you know. People died. I don't care how my house get licked up or whatever. People died. This is what is most important to me. Because it could have happened to me. It could have happened to everyone who watching this video right now. The another thing is, one day I went across the river and I saw some people putting up some houses in the riverbed. And I asked one brother, but brother, you know you from Vermont area and this whole area, why are you putting up your house here? He told me, Striker send them there. Striker give them the authority to do that.
Who's Striker? Who's Striker? Tell the people who's Striker.
Ex-rep Louis Striker. Some kind of way they call him. I don't recognize the screen and I know. Anyway, forget about him. It's the honor. Louis Striker, ex-rep.
Who won
Central Leeward.
Central Leeward, okay, good.
Right?
Yes.
So I say, but my brethren, the man and them run up and down behind Louis Striker so much. Vote for Louis Striker, put Louis Striker in a power. Louis Striker live in a comfortable place in a leg. And how we going to make him put you in a riverbed there? So the brethren say, you only put we a temporary, say he has some other place high up on the hillside up there. I say, brethren, that is crap. And I live to see that it is crap. Louis Striker go out of office. How is the other brother name? The other brother was the name Charles came in.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. And Christmas Eve night, climax everything. These are some of the houses that washed away. When you hear about this woman who get hooked up in a Orange Tree and lost her daughter, when you hear about this man who couldn't hold on to his wife, those are some of the people
who died.
Yeah.
And who got involved in the whole incident.
Mr. Striker, is it true that you give my people permission to live in the riverbed? Is it true? For vote? Yeah. SVG, let me look this thing seriously as it is. Let me try to, how did I say, dot the I's and cross the T's. Let me fill in the blanks, SVG. Let we understand if we have a country that running on one hand, that if the hand is sick, we all are dead. Let us understand that if it is true, let us know that if it is true that we were not one because Papa was not at home, because we will not settle for they did not know. Like I man say before, old people say when your house is on fire, when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. Why we were not given the opportunity to wet our house?
Shaka, I'd like to interrupt you one more time. We're going to make another video too also. But I like people to know the kind of metal you're made from, and the person who's talking here is not no pia fly-by-night person. You are one of the owners of a farmland that, and you are one, perhaps the only person who refused, four of you refused to sell to the developers your plot of land, and you told me that you could have been a millionaire today. So people should know, and look, all your actions come to fruition in that your place is not used for building. Perhaps the person who would have taken your place would have died. If they had a building there. So you could tell the people about that too before we close off on this one video.
Yeah, well, you see, let me put it this way. We are a nation of a whole heap of unpurposeful people. Talk, have no meaning, no function for nothing. Because we all are traitors to our own, national anthem. The national anthem say that whatever happens, we will protect our country. So that is what I and my brethren are about. We are here, we cannot, how can we, for some money, for just a handful of money, sell out our children's future? Sell out the future of the nation. Now, let me look at this thing. Whenever we sell a white man, a foreign white man, a piece of St. Vincent, it ain't that possible for a black local to buy it. So what do we do here? We sell the future of our nation. Let me start to say it that way. No money can pay for that. You see? So we have to get it into ourselves that our development depends on us and how we are going to come together to do what we're supposed to do as a people, and not as money grabbers, not as material hunters, but as morality builders. So we could retake and reclaim our country. Because Brian, me and my brethren, two other brethren, because one guy don't really want, are the only people within the immediate vicinity of the river who did not get hit.
I was going to come to ask you about that. I mean, what your crop that you have in there, the crops that you have there, did you lose any?
I lose just a small portion of lettuce just because a drain at the head of my land broke.
Right.
But it is nothing that I can really.
And the house that you lived in?
I was there. Water passed all around me. It passed inside and all.
Yes.
But it didn't do any damage.
Yeah.
Through the powers of the Almighty, I must give thanks and praises to the Father, because He knows that the mission that we are on is a mission to deliver our people from this slavery. Because let me look at it. Government Bay Resort. Excellent. One day I said to one of the white men who wanted to buy my land, I say, you come here again now with your tourism estate. Will my people be managers on your tourism estate? This was his reply. I don't want to get into the politics. No, you see that?
That is not even politics. That's commerce.
You see that?
Yeah, you see. He want to think that you were political.
Yes,
but we have to end this tape here because it's going too long. We will do on tape 2. Thank you again, Shaka, for being so for explaining to us what's going on in the country.